Detective Lou's partner never forgot that day. He never forgot that what could have been a routine by-the-book lift. He was lonely and he wanted to talk about his life. He wanted to talk about so many of his friends, so many of his colleagues were quick to use. He showed this kindness in so many ways.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what you were seeing there were several shots of police officers turning their backs on the screen outside the funeral home where Mayor de Blasio spoke during the funeral of Wen Jianlu, one of the two police officers assassinated now 3 weeks ago here in New York City. And joining us is Ed Mullins, president of the Sergeants Benevolent Association of the New York Police Department. Hello, Ed. Good to talk to you, sir.
Hi, Steve. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. You know, I'm tired of the criticism of the media, certainly, that comes when the police officers do what they feel in their hearts they need to do. What's your take on what happened most recently on Sunday, yesterday, when the mayor spoke?
Oh, I think that, you know, number one, the media has an obligation to report information, and that's a critical part of this nation. What took place with the officers, you know, again yesterday, is a clear view of what's taken place between the relationship with City Hall and the mayor and the NYPD, that there is still a feeling of not being supported by this mayor, and it, you know, the silent protest that we're all witnessing across the media is in many ways a First Amendment right. It is a First Amendment right to the members of the NYPD, to which they broke no laws, uttered no words, and simply just took a position. It became a national message. And, you know, sadly, it's a national message to probably the second highest or most sought after political position in the United States. It's in many ways an embarrassment to, you know, City Hall. This is something that's occurring right now. And, you know, hopefully as we move forward, that we'll be able to get all of this behind us, but we need to, you know, address issues and try to keep the ball moving forward.
I mean, Ed, what this mayor did, I'm sorry, and I'm sure you may agree, is unprecedented. The media, and again, it's their job to report, but when they have an agenda, as much of them do, and I hear it all the time, they even leave out what the mayor actually said. What the mayor said, basically, was he stood there after the Gardner grand jury, said his police force has been racist for decades, and he's afraid they're going to harm his son. I mean, that's unprecedented. That's outrageous. Does he have to apologize for that directly?
The easiest way for the mayor to address this is to apologize and understand that his philosophical viewpoints are not the same viewpoints shared by 8 million New Yorkers. He's entitled to his viewpoint, but as a public official, statements you make often can either be misinterpreted or they can be triggering points to what we have now. And unfortunately, what he had said is triggering points. You, myself, and the people that are walking about this city today are not responsible for the racism that occurred decades ago. If anything, we should take credit for correcting most of what's occurred, you know, in past history, and just look to the accomplishments of electing an African-American president twice. This nation has actually done that twice with an overwhelming majority of voters who are not all African-American.
Well, Ed, that brings me to the next point. We only have a minute and a half left, so forgive me for interrupting you. The Washington Post, big story today about how police all over the country and in New York especially disappointed with not only the mayor here, but Obama and Holder. I mean, Obama still hasn't issued words out of his mouth about the assassination of these two cops. Are you disappointed in what you're hearing or not hearing from Obama and Holder?
Look, Steve, I'll be honest with you. I don't agree with a lot of things that I see in Washington, but right now, a sitting president and things that we say are looked at upon on an international basis. And to me, there is nothing more important in this nation, whether we agree or disagree with this president, to put things out publicly to which the world will, you know, judge this president. I don't think is really appropriate for us to do on a national level.
All right, I think we lost Ed. We're at the end of the segment anyway. Thank you, Ed Mullins, President of the Sergeants Benevolent Association here in the city of New York. It's a bad situation, folks. It's a bad situation. And like he said, the easiest way for the mayor to handle this is to apologize and realize his philosophy doesn't jibe with the 8 million New Yorkers when it comes to police. John Yoo is next. Don't go away.